So how many of you guys that like to play music or write your own music, how many of you think that one day you could be a big star and make lots of money from your music? Yeah, the odds don't really play in your favor. Here's why. So guys, I don't really mean to be a dick by saying that. I'm not saying that, oh, if you want to be big in the music scene, that you can't be, or that it can't bring you joy. But as far as bringing you money, it's not really likely. Let me go ahead and tell you guys a little story about, that you may or may not know, about Die Artist Murder, which, yes, is somewhat of an underground band, but you would say in their genre, they're actually one of the big bands. They've toured pretty much constantly since 2009, and they've played lots of big festivals. I'm not talking about big local festivals. I'm talking about big national festivals, like pretty much non-stop. And these guys have been just getting it. And yet, over the course of their career, each member of the band, I think there's like 5 members, each member's only made, I think it was quoted like 16,000, 17,000. That's since 2009. The reason why I bring this up is because their vocalist basically said he just can't do it anymore. He can't deal with being broke and not getting money from music, and it's screwed up that people are having to do that. You know, they're realizing that there's not much money in the music industry anymore. Only a fraction of bands that set out today even make it big, and the ones that you think are really big, like the ones that have labels and everything, the sad reality is they're probably just making enough to break even after tour costs, manager costs, label costs, record label royalties, all that stuff. They just barely break even. Now, I'm not saying you should play music for money, but that's the sad reality. If you want to try to make music a career, the usual, oh, I'm just going to play in a band, doesn't really cut it. And that's what sucks. When I first started in music, I had that mentality. I was like 17, 18. I was like, I'm going to get really good at playing bass. I'm going to join a band, play bass. We're going to play a lot of shows, and we're going to make it big. Man, that didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I've been in about 5 or 6 bands, and it just doesn't happen. One of the last bands I was in, the most active band I was in, was an old band called One Final Hope. And we played a hell of a lot of shows and had a lot of shows where we got paid decent money, but at the end of the day, all that money went into gas in the car, went into merch and other stuff. At the end of the day, we had nothing to show for it. So that's why I really don't like the people that just sit around in their house and wait for the big national bands to show up to their town before they go to a show and support music in their area. Because you're not supporting music in your area. All you're doing is you're lining the pockets of the bands that have actually made it. And what you're doing is you're neglecting the bands that bust their ass day in and day out to try to get to that status. The same way the so-called big national bands did when they started. They're busting their ass day in, day out just to try to make a little bit of money, and they can't. Because 9 times out of 10, the music scene in your area is dead and full of people that just don't want to support local music. No one realizes that every national band at one point was just a small-time local band going through the same problems that everyone else goes through. Which brings me to my point of this whole vlog. If you're going to do music, I think the way to go nowadays is not really worry about touring. If you want to do music, make a little bit of money off of it, cut the middleman out, record and produce your own music. If you know how to play a couple instruments, if you know how to sample the rest of the instruments you don't really know how to play, put something together. That's what I found the most enjoyment and the most success with. I love playing shows more than the next guy. But when I sit down at my house and I plug my instruments into the computer and I sit down for about 4 or 5 hours and record a track and get to listen to the finished product at the end of the day, that's just as rewarding as playing a show in my eyes. And the best part is, with stuff like SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, and stuff like that, you don't have to pay some label or some third party to distribute your music anymore. You don't have to do that anymore. Which brings me to the cohesive point of this vlog. I've started my own project. It's a project called Metta, M-E-T-T-A. And what this project is I created this project because I've noticed that on YouTube, the YouTube copyright shit is pretty ridiculous. You know, YouTube will sit there and copyright strike you for 5 seconds of some popular song, even if it's just in the background and you can barely hear it. If YouTube can pick it up, they'll copyright strike the shit out of you. And that's not right. YouTube shouldn't do that. It's not like you're ripping the whole song and just getting views and monetization off of it. It's part of some other creative work. You know, it's just in the background. Or, you know, it could be a music edit of a ride. You know, that's completely different than just stealing the music altogether. But YouTube doesn't care. So the next logical thing to do is, if you want some kind of music, is to go look up free music. Well, in my experience, and a lot of people will tell you, a lot of the free music out there that you're not going to get copyright striked for is pretty unimpressive. It's pretty uninspiring and just, it's kind of dull. I mean, Incompetech does have a couple tracks that you can use for certain things, but I noticed there's really nobody out there doing heavy music, and that bothered me. Woo-hoo! Oh, that gets your heart pumping when you feel that bike set back. Woo! God, I gotta stop killing the throttle when it does that. But anyway, like I was saying, guys, there's really no free, copyright-free market out there for really heavy music. So that's why I created my project Metta. You can go check it out at soundcloud.com/Metta Music. I'll put a little text here on the screen. You can copy that into your browser. And I've got 2 tracks up right now. I plan to have plenty more. It's not all going to be about the same style. It's all going to be kind of heavy, on the heavier side. But it's gonna fluctuate around here and there. And I created this mainly for content creators, so they can use music, heavy music, and not have to worry about someone coming down the line and stealing their monetization and stealing their revenue. So you guys can use all that music that you find on that page. It's royalty free. It's free for commercial use. The only thing I ask is you just leave a link to the SoundCloud, or leave a link to my YouTube. No, either one, whatever. I think it's a good thing for the community. I think it's good for talented people like myself that can do music or can provide other stuff like graphic design, things like that. I think it's good for us to kind of band together and help the community. Because anytime you give into the community, it's good for everybody. And if everybody gives a little, then everyone gets a lot out of it. But yeah, guys, that's my little rant on the music industry and, you know, music and stuff like that. If you guys have anything to add, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you guys have any music projects you would like to share, drop the name of them or something down below, and I'll go check them out. You know, just let me know where I can find them, stuff like that, and I'll go give them a peepsy. Oh, and one last thing to go ahead and end the vlog, guys. We do now have an official MotardSteve shop. Go to shop.spreadshirt.com/MotardSteve, and you can pick up a MotardSteve t-shirt. I have them in a women's style and a guy's style. They're 15 bucks. I only make $1 off of them, and that's just so maybe I figured if I make $1 off every shirt I sell, eventually I can kick that money into buying some more stickers and stuff like that and getting more stuff for you guys. You know, just being honest and upfront with you guys. It's just $1 that I make. If you have a problem with me making $1 off a shirt, whatever. Spreadshirt makes the other $14. So really you're paying them. But if you guys would like a MotardSteve shirt, go ahead and go to that link, check it out. There's also some shirts for my music project, Metta, as I was talking about, that you can get from there as well. I'm going to add some more stuff. It's kind of bare bones at the moment. I've also got something cool in the works that you guys will hear about probably in several months. And I'm going to have some shirts and some designs and stuff for that. If you guys like SBK, I think you guys are going to like what I'm doing here in a few months. But anyway, guys, that's all the time I got. If you guys like the video, show me some love by hitting the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Check out more videos. Go check out some other channels in my description down below. Check out the other vloggers down there. They're cool guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one.